So this right here is really kind of a technician's worst nightmare. The bolt broken off pretty deep in this cylinder head, and no idea why it was broken. Did it break from use and just stress and constant heat cycling? Did it break when somebody was putting it in? Did it break when somebody was taking it out? We don't know. So we're going to have to drill that and put an extractor on it to get it out. Now, probably the single biggest issue we always run into when we're trying to drill something like this is to get the drill bit centered so that it runs through the length of the bolt and we can get our extractor in relatively square and apply pressure to this bolt evenly. That's kind of tricky to do. So what I like to do is I like to take my die grinder and carbide ball burr just like this, and you may have seen that I use that in another video, and I like to grind a concave surface into the bolt. Now the reason I'm drilling the concave into the bolt, blah, 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 obviously can't speak, is my drill bit will center on the lowest part of that concave face. And since it'll center, it'll allow me to drill a much more even, nicer hole through that bolt. Now, this thing throws a lot of little tiny metal chips, and you'll notice that I've thrown some rags into the ports there so that the ports are not going to end up getting a whole bunch of metal in them. And I've made sure that everything in this area is sealed up. If I was working in a really sensitive area, I'd put a couple of magnets around this to help collect those chips. This isn't very sensitive, and this engine's sitting on a bench top, so cleanup's not going to be too bad. I take this, and I really, just like I say, want to try to grind a centered up concave surface like that, and we can see that it actually is starting to grind out quite nicely. So that's really probably all the more that I need. So I think I'll go ahead and get a drill bit and maybe start drilling on this thing, see what happens. So before I get going here, I'm going to take a center punch, and I'm going to get it there and let it seat itself in that concave surface. And I'm just going to hit that a couple of times. That might do a couple of things. First off, it gives me something that the drill bit can bite. This is a very hard bolt, very hard stud. The other thing is driving on that lightly might help to break some of the thread-to-thread contact in there loose. Maybe, maybe not. I'm going to use an 1/8 inch drill bit, and I'm going to try to center up, and I'm going to start drilling. We'll see how it goes. I'll check periodically to make sure that I'm still staying pretty straight. So we can see already seems like it's cutting okay. And now I just need to be patient, and I need to be steady, and hopefully we'll get a nice straight hole through there. Another reason I want a straight hole is if I've got to drill this thing out and rethread that, the straighter this is, the better off I'm going to be. So I'm going to pause it there and get this drill going. So right now, if at all possible, I want to get that hole drilled all the way through. So apparently I was pausing and unpausing in areas, and it's kind of messed up. So at any rate, I've got the hole drilled all the way through there, and I'm about ready to try an extractor on it. So this is kind of the standard extractor, this fluted design that most people work with. I don't really like them because they do break so easy, but I am going to start with this one and see if I can maybe get it to move with that. If I can't, I have a different extractor to use. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Wow, it's coming out nice. Awesome. And it must be fairly straight because I don't see a whole lot of movement in that. I didn't get quite all the way through, but it looks like it's relatively well centered. Okay, yeah, I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy about that. Dang, I've gotten pretty lucky with some bolts lately. Actually, there's a little more than luck involved with this. You nail the thing and get that concave surface in there, and it allows you to drill that thing so much straighter. And that's 90% of the battle when we're removing rusted and broken fasteners, is making sure that you're moving everything out evenly, straight. You do the prep work necessary to not only keep garbage out of the engine or transmission or whatever you're working on, but also to allow you to remove the broken stuff with as little brain damage as possible. This crap takes time. Be patient, breathe, relax, listen to some music, whatever, but don't get pissed off because you got a broken something. You're going to have to deal with it, and being mad about it is just going to make it harder. Do a little prep, figure it out. You'll be good.